testimony you're about to provide is true and accurate? Okay. Can you go ahead and scoot up? Yeah, and then we got the swearing in. That's fine. But either move the microphone.
You got to talk a little louder.
Okay. So we need the microphone a little bit closer to you, and just make sure you're always speaking right into it, so we can hear you and so they can hear you through the stream. Okay. Yes. All right. Thank you, Mr. Jorde.
Thank you, sir. Would you please state your name?
Kelvin Sandbulte.
And Calvin, your brother Alvin testified just before you, is that right?
That's correct.
And do you agree with the concerns and information and factual data that he provided in his testimony?
Yes.
And you also caused to be filed pre-filed testimony along with your brother Alvin, which is in evidence, and you're here to be able to answer questions relative to the parcel that was immediately west of the parcel where Alvin's home is located. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. And did you, relative to that particular parcel, have any errors that you wanted to correct relative to your written testimony? No. And did you have any updates that you can think about based on things that have occurred since you filed the pre-filed testimony?
No.
All right. So with that, I'm going to tender you for cross, and like your brother, some other folks might have questions, okay?
Okay. Mr. Taylor will be first, but just a reminder, Mr. Sandbulte, you got to speak into the mic and loud and clear, okay? Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Taylor.
Thank you. I'm Wally Taylor. I represent the Sierra Club. And do you and your brother farm this land? Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. With corn and beans?
Correct.
In your written testimony, you said that you were worried about soil compaction and disruption of the topsoil. What makes you think that there would be any compaction and disruption of the topsoil?
Whenever you move ground in or out, it's going to compact.
And do you think that would decrease the fertility of the land and the amount of crops that you would get?
Yes.
How so?
It will restrict the roots from going down.
Have you talked to any Summit land agents or representatives about an easement or an alternative route?
Yes.
Tell us what those discussions have been.
Could you repeat that?
Sure. Tell us what those discussions have been like.
We just asked them if they could reroute it, and Carla Walters came back and said no.
Did you propose an alternative route?
We told her if they went a half mile to the west, it was CRP ground, and nobody is farming that. But she said the route is set.
About when was the last time you talked to anybody from Summit?
A couple months, probably.
A couple of months ago?
Yes.
Okay. I think that's all the questions I have. Thank you.
Ms. Hike?
Hello, Mr. Sandbulte. I'm Chris Hike. I'm a landowner over here. Just looking at your testimony, I'm also referring with visits with your land agents. You note that you still don't know what the proposal is or exactly how much land and location.
You're going to have to talk louder. I'm sorry.
That's okay. In referring to your testimony, it notes about you visited with the land agents, but you still don't know what the final proposal is, or you don't know exactly how much land and location of that will negatively impact you.
No, I don't.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Whippel?
Mr. Sandbulte, were you contacted by Summit? Was there a series of contacts by phone or by mail? Do you recall?
I would say by mail. I don't recall any phone, but it might have been, but
Do you recall seeing a list of contacts that Summit says that they had with you or with your family?
could you say that again?
Do you recall seeing a list of contacts that Summit compiled?
No, I don't.
So you wouldn't know whether they tried to contact other members of your family
They sent literature
to you?
to other family members.
Which other family members?
What?
Which other family members?
Brother, or probably for sure one brother.
Did they attempt to send it to your father?
He's deceased.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Colas?
Good afternoon, Mr. Sandbulte. Jean Colas, a farmer also. Could you please bring up the KMZ map? Okay, is this the first time that you've seen the final proposed route from Summit Carbon? Because you said you didn't know where they would put it.
That looks about the same as what they've been sending us, but this is probably the first time, if this is the final one, yeah.
Have they contacted you since you received the Exhibit H notification for eminent domain?
No,
You have concern about how they will access your land. Is that because, have you seen the easement agreements? Have you received one from them?
yeah,
Are you concerned about how, in perpetuity, they will be accessing not only the area around the pipeline, but your entire 2 parcels?
sure.
You indicated you're concerned about compaction and the loss of yield. Do you and your brother, I believe, farm this, depend on this income?
Yes, we do.
So this would be a huge loss
Yes,
of income. I can't remember. Have you tried to get insurance?
no,
Do you have concern with your existing liability insurance on whether or not it will be covered?
sure.
Do you feel that this pipeline should be built, that it's for the good, for convenience or necessity?
Can you say that again?
Do you feel that this pipeline is good for the citizens and a necessity?
No, I don't.
Do you feel we could exist very easily without the pipeline?
Yes,
You think we should be allowed, because of your rights of ownership under the Constitution, to own your own property
yes,
and not attempt to have a private for-profit company attempt to take your land?
correct.
At any time when you had discussions or contacts, did they mention eminent domain as being a possibility?
We questioned them about it and they wouldn't give us an answer.
Are you concerned about the excessive water usage?
Yes,
I guess that answers most of my questions. Thank you.
Mr. Jorde for redirect.
Thank you, sir. You had mentioned your father's deceased. When did he pass? Approximately.
Year in December, the end of December would be a year.
Okay, so December of 2022.
Yeah, I believe it.
Okay, and did he have ownership in these parcels in question prior to his passing?
Yes,
All right, and then they through estate planning they passed to you and your brother. Is that right?
yes.
Are you aware if Summit claims that they have had contact with your deceased father since December of 2022?
No,
You're not aware either way if they claim that. Okay. And similarly to the question asked of your brother on the parcel he was addressing, would you purchase land if you knew it had a hazardous pipeline on it?
no,
All right, and do you believe that attitude is shared by others and would more likely than not decrease the value of land being sold with a hazardous pipeline?
yes.
Thank you. I don't have anything further, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Sandbolt. You're dismissed. Thank you. Appreciate it. Mr. Jorde, you can call your next witness, please.
And this will be virtual. Vicky Sony.